USA lineup for Speedway's World Cup, and on the outside, Yannick Campbell, the 19-year-old, 61 points in 8 away meetings for Ipswich. This man will change here tonight. Alan Malthouse starting, Marshall walks away. Our referee is David Peat up here, and Martin Dugard at the apex of the bend. Oh, locking up a little bit, and down the outside goes Hampel, but Dugard comes away as Hampel lifts, and Dugard's teammate Brent Werner's at the back. A split of the points if it stays like this. They're finding the track tough, but not the master of Arlington out front. Martin Dugard in red, followed down in white by Chris Louis. Round the outside goes Yannick Hampel. Ipswich second and third, a 3-all on the cards, and there's Werner at the back to make ground.
Yeah, Martin Dugard out in front. If you notice in the corners, he's so much sideways. There we can see that Martin absolutely sideways on the pitch bend, looking back at the opposition, and he's a mile in front.
Look at the camera on his handlebars, getting the reaction of the rider, just how they're jumped about. And really, as Martin Dugard goes into that final lap, knows the track, as we know, just like the back of his hand, safe and sure, down the back straight. Ahead of in second place now, Yannick Hampel, Chris Louis back in third. This will be a share of the points, but Dugard takes it in red. Hampel in yellow is second. Third is Chris Louis in white. A split of the points, disappointment at the back for Brent Werner, but a great ride by that man, Martin Dugard, in the red helmet colours. Impressive as always here. His official time there, 57.6, a little bit outside the track record, but nevertheless a good ride and a winning ride by the Eastbourne team captain to win heat number 1. Winning it.
I can't believe Chrissy actually gave us 1 and 3 in the first one, which is unless he's got
yeah,
some
we noticed you look surprised.
shocked. I don't know what his plan is. Maybe he's going to turn it around, because Javi started this last year and everybody sort of followed ball from there, but I don't know whether it's good or bad for him.
You've got a theory on that, haven't you?
Well, I said it myself that I thought Gate 4 looked a bit dry and dusty. I actually looked at the track with you, and you said it did look a bit dry and dusty.
Yeah, well, I think later on, when they get a bit of moisture come out, it could work towards us, but we won't know until we get that far down the road, but hopefully we'll be that far in front.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. The track itself tonight, Martin, looks a bit slicker than normal.
Yeah, it's funny because we've been complaining that it's been a bit too grippy for us, and we've struggled in that, and now Dad's made it really, really slick, and it hasn't caught us out yet.
Well, we won't catch you out either. This conversation could go on for a while. We'll let you get back to the pits. Are you going to make any changes or not?
Yeah, I'm just going to drop a teeth on the back. It's Dean Barker's engine I borrowed for tonight, so I'm...
Cheers, Dino.
Yeah, thanks, Dean. Get well soon, but I haven't tried it before, so I don't know which way to go yet.
All right, we'll let you get back into the pits and have a look at it.
Recently, but Savalas Clouting goes from the inside for Ipswich in white. Next to him, Steve Johnston, the Aussie guest for Eastbourne, in red. Gate 3 is Jason Bunyan of Ipswich in the yellow helmet colours. And on the outside for Eastbourne, Marcus Anderson, the 26-year-old, just 1 point of 250, or short of 250, in British League action for the young Swede. Away they go now on the inside in white. Savalas Clouting kicks it down. Oh, and down in a bundle goes Jason Bunyan. He's down there. The referee has already put the stoplights on to halt that race in the interest of safety. We look to see whether there's an exclusion in this department here, but the referee, we understand, is putting all 4 riders back in. All 4 will be there for the restart, which I'm sure will happen pretty quick. Our referee, David Peat, has decided that all 4 riders will be back in this, and
We can see that Steve Johnson in the red just catches Jason Bunyan's front wheel and his handlebars entering the first turn, and we can see this again. Johnson in the red just comes over a little bit, just there at that point, takes Bunyan's left leg away, down he goes, tangles up with a bike, but he's perfectly okay, and I'm sure he'll be able to take his place in the rerun, Tony.
Peter, would you suggest perhaps that Steve Johnson a shade lucky to stay in with that?
No, not really. I think Johnson wasn't aware that Jason Bunyan was so close, and we do see that a lot in Speedway, that first kind of Bunyan.
Middle, getting them set up. Referee David Peat up above. He's got his finger on the button. He presses the button up by the tapes, and Savalas Clouting kicks it down on the inside. Once again to the bend first. Trying to go around the outside in blue is Marcus Anderson. Anderson comes through there. In red with him is his teammate and partner Steve Johnson. Clouting in front trying to hold it. The Eastbourne men putting him under pressure. Tailed off at the back is Jason Bunyan. And now Clouting is under pressure from Steve Johnson.
Yeah, Steve Johnson's got the inside line. He's trying so much round the inside, but Clouting's just managing to stay ahead of Johnson. Jono's really keeping it tight. Again, right down that inside, but there's just not enough grip at the moment.
Well, Savalas Clouting used to ride down here for a while, and he certainly quite likes the track here. And this could be a fine heat victory for him if he holds it there with a lap and a quarter to go. And this will be a bit of a surprise under pressure from those 2 Eastbourne reserves who've got talent and ability. And Ipswich will be delighted if Savalas Clouting can hold this. But now Steve Johnson putting him under pressure down that back straight. Clouting will hug the curve. Johnson will go round the outside. This is going to be tight, but Clouting is going to take it for Ipswich. He does, ahead of the Eastbourne pair of Steve Johnson in red and in blue, Marcus Anderson. And a great ride by Savalas Clouting, because his best performance away from home is 3 paid 4 this season in total, and he's got 3 points from that one ride. Side for Eastbourne. Gate 2 is Craig Boyce, the 33-year-old 3 times Australian champion for Ipswich. Gate 3 for Eastbourne, David Norris, in his 10th season with the club down here at Arlington. And Jeremy Doncaster, the 39-year-old, 40 in exactly 2 weeks' time. Chris Louis there watching the action along with Scott Nichols, Mark Loram and Martin Dugard, all gathering, all interested and all seeing, Peter, how the track's riding.
This season, Tony.
Starting Martin moves away for heat 3. The tapes fly up, but this is going to be a real battle here, because the Ipswich pair are 1 and 2. They're very much informed. Craig Boyce leading the way, but down the outside goes Jeremy Doncaster. Last to taste and first away, and now certainly pulling up a few trees for Ipswich. Loving the track, and Jeremy Doncaster ahead of in second place David Norris for Eastbourne. Now third Craig Boyce, picking it up around the outside goes Stefan Anderson to put Boyce under pressure and move into third place round that bend for another share of the points if it stays like this. But Doncaster out front for the second heat in a row, and Ipswich man providing a surprise.
Yeah, Jeremy's going to be 40 next month, and he's just doing the perfect ride here, just about keeping David Norris behind. David's such an expert round this circuit, but Donkey's not put a wheel wrong yet.
With a lap to go, Jeremy Doncaster now being put under pressure by David Norris. The Eastbourne fans are cheering. Norris closes the gate and Doncaster found the back straight, and this should give Eastbourne a heat advantage. The fans are cheering. In red, he may have left it late to finish ahead of Jeremy Doncaster in yellow. Third in blue, Stefan Anderson for Eastbourne. A crucial last lap to give Eastbourne a victory in the heat by 4 points to 2. They now lead by 10 points to 8, but David Norris left it late.
He just kept plugging away round that inside. Jeremy never moved off that fast line that he's on. He's just got the speed. That's the overtake where David Norris just slips past Jeremy Doncaster and closes the door on him.
Going good, and to be fair, when I passed him, I kind of lined him up and moved him out. It's not the best passing manoeuvre, but track's slick. We desperately need a win this tonight, and I done what I felt I had to do.
Well, all's fair in love and speed. You don't look very happy. Got problems with the bike?
No, it's the hair.
Well, we know that.
Yeah, no.
Too much bleach?
I think so. No, boy's not too bad, so it's very strong. So we're just going to try and calm it down a bit.
OK, well done. Certainly exciting to watch. Coming up.
For Eastbourne in blue on the inside with a third place in his first ride. Jason Bunyan took a pearler first time out. Goes again in heat 4 for Ipswich in yellow. Gate 3, the world champion Mark Loram guesting for Eastbourne. And on the outside, the in-form man, a 15-point maximum here on his last visit for Scott Nichols. He's in that Grand Prix of the weekend as well. Quite a good summer. The riders look across. They wait for the magnets from Eastern main stuff. They fly it away on the inside. In blue goes Marcus Anderson, but Mark Loram picks it up. And Mark Loram, the world champion, racing here tonight as a guest for Dean Barker, pursued by Scott Nichols, the in-form man in British Speedway. Nichols on the inside, Loram on the outside, picking up the racing line. Anderson goes through in blue in third place. Jason Bunyan tailed off. And a real battle between two Brits, both of whom are in the Grand Prix at the weekend.
Yes, Tony, we can see that Mark's just riding in the middle of the circuit. Scott Nichols is all over him at the back there. Scotty never gives up. This could be a big psychological advantage here. If Scott Nichols could go by Mark Loram, it's all on at the moment.
Yes, a lap and a half to go. The battle is joined between two British hopes. They're battling each other. Tremendous battle here, and more to come between these two, I'm sure, later on. More to come between them on Saturday in the Grand Prix. But Mark Loram edging this at the moment. The world champion. Nichols goes wide and drifts. Can he pick up grip? No, Loram holds it just in red, ahead of Nichols in white. Third in blue for Eastbourne is Marcus Anderson. That's another 4 points to 2 in favour of Eastbourne, who now lead by 14 points to 10 with 4 heats gone. The handshakes are genuine between those two great rivals, Mark Loram in the red helmet colours and Scott Nichols in the white. Perhaps Mark Loram, a current world champion. Could Scott Nichols...
It's a lot like me, you know, but he's getting around the inside pretty good. And all I could do was hook it on the inside and just hope he didn't come round me. And I was a bit lucky there. It was like a shadow, like you say. I couldn't shake him.
Yeah, it pushed you really hard. Did you think there was ever a second where you'd be able to get past?
Well, like Mark said, you know, he usually goes for the dirt straight away, and so realistically, my biggest chance was going to be on the first lap when I see him going for the dirt, but there just weren't quite enough for me to get up the inside, and Mark obviously could see where I was coming and just could do enough just to block me from getting up the inside. But it was a good race. Shame I didn't get the result.
Now, that's the kind of racing that we'd like to see next Saturday at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Is it possible?
Oh, I'm sure it is. I just hope they, get to lay the track pretty good, and I'm sure you will see a lot of good racing like that.
Scott, will the result be the same?
Well, probably. I don't know if I get that far. No, like Mark says, if they get the time to prepare a good track, then it'll be brilliant. Indoor, no problem with the rain, and be a good crowd, and it's a new experience for me, so I'll be going there.
I was going to say that. I mean, a big chance, big opportunity for you. A really big venue. Nerves?
Oh, definitely. I mean, at the moment I'm so busy, I'm sort of not really thinking about it too much. But on the day I'll be very nervous, but that's a good thing, and like I said, it's an experience for me. I've got nothing to lose from it, and hopefully I can go there, put in a good performance, do myself some justice, and enjoy the day.
Well, I hope you enjoy tonight too. Sure, we'll be speaking to both of you as you...
Goes Yannick Hampel, the 19-year-old pole. Gate 2 for Eastbourne is David Norris, a heat winner, first time out in the red helmet colours. Chris Louis, the Great Britain and Ipswich captain in the Grand Prix then, and racing Scott Nichols in heat 1 down at the Millennium Stadium next Saturday, goes in white from gate 3. And on the outside, that is the Stefan Anderson of 2. Of course, we have Stefan Anderson and Marcus Anderson for Eastbourne. Gates 1 and 3 in this one. All the winners have come from those 2 gates so far. But we have an Ipswich winner here. David Norris will be trying to make sure not. Gate 2. Up by the tapes and away they go. They struggle to keep it down here, but Chris Louis in white cuts across. The 2 Ipswich men are in front. In yellow is Yannick Hampel. Chris Louis down the outside. A chance for team riding for Ipswich. But the man in blue there making ground is Stefan Anderson, trying to go around the outside. And David Norris will try to come through, as he did in his previous ride, putting the Ipswich pair under pressure. Bucking and rearing as they go round that pitch bend, but Ipswich, if they take a 5-1 here, will level the match up with 5 heats gone, and they're doing pretty well now, halfway through the heat.
Yeah, a good team ride here for Ipswich. Hampel's riding the inside, Chris Louis on the outside. Really, David Norris's challenge has seemed to have fizzled out, really, because unless he can get around that inside, there's very little place where he can overtake now.
Ipswich doing absolutely right here and going very, very well now for what looks like the first 5-1 to either team. Down that back straight they go. Norris is not making ground on Hampel. Louis is clear out front, and Chris Louis in the white helmet colours, and Yannick Hampel alongside him for Ipswich. Gain a maximum heat victory there ahead of David Norris for Eastbourne in red in 3rd place. A 5 points to 1 to the visitors, which now ties it up with 5 heats gone. And Eastbourne 15, Ipswich 15. The Ipswich riders, congrats.
Quite a good pairing so far this year, especially since Jarek's really come on song. So we both made good starts, and it was fairly straightforward from there. But it's a sort of track you can easily make a mistake, so you've still got to watch for it.
Yeah, all the starts seem to have been made off 1 and 3, Chris. Is that why you kind of took 2 and 4 to get it out of the way for yourself and Jarek and a few other guys?
Yeah, we preferred to be off the inside gates towards the end more than anything, especially heat 13. I mean, heat 13's like. So looking at heat 13 with Martin and Mark, both Eastbourne specialists really. So it was a tactical move. Obviously didn't really pay off in heat 1, but hopefully it's going to come good for us towards the end of the meeting.
I know you mentioned you got a cold, but you had a shoulder injury you had last week. We saw. How's that now?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It doesn't really hurt. It just aches a bit. The more meetings I'm doing, the more it's aching. But it's not really hindering me.
So you're going to be fully fit for Millennium, which is all we care about?
I hope so, yeah. I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You're looking good at the moment. We'll let you get back to the pits and do whatever you need to do.
Eastbourne goes in the inside in blue. Gate 2 for Ipswich, Scott Nichols, who rode so well in that battle with Mark Aram last time out. Martin Dugard, who won heat number 1 in flying style, the Master of Arlington, who retires at the end of this season in red. And on the outside, Savalas Clouting goes for Ipswich in the yellow helmet colours, the winner of his machine. Dugard in red, away they go. Line abreast, Scott Nichols picks it up in white. The 2 Eastbourne riders 2nd and 3rd. Nichols pursued by Dugard down the back straight. Back in 3rd place, Brent Werner for Eastbourne. Savalas Clouting on the outside and tailed off, it seems, now at the rear. But the battle joined up front, and Martin Dugard won't be beaten easily. But Scott Nichols is brilliant round this track. A maximum 15 points from 5 rides last time he rode here. He could do it again here. Well, he's beaten by Mark Aram so far, but can he beat Martin Dugard?
Martin Dugard absolutely dominated heat 1, but he's got no answer really to Scott Nichols. Scott is riding a perfect line. He's on form, and Martin Dugard, look at the lean there. This is the onboard camera looking at Martin. He pulls his tail off there, but you can see so much body leaning on the turns.
Whoa, Scott Nichols down that back straight, showing why I believe he could be a world champion one day. A truly brilliant rider now, Scott Nichols in white, winning this heat ahead of Martin Dugard in red. 3rd in blue for Eastbourne is Brent Werner. the third heat of the day or night, which has ended level at 3-all. It's now Eastbourne 18, Ipswich 18. But another fine ride by that man, Scott Nicholls. He had a ding-dong battle with Mark Laram and lost out on that one early on. But this time he's beaten.
Jason was saying how slick it looks out there. From your point of view, and you did say that to him at first, has it changed?
I can't say, can I? I'm not allowed to. No, it's...
You can say whatever you want, Martin, trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure my old man will watch this later. Yes, it is slick, but it's the same for both sides. But it's nice to be able to come here and race on a place rather than come here and fight the place.
It's nice to be able to what, sorry?
Come here and race on a circuit rather than fight the circuit. Because we've been to a few places where we've done that, but at the end of the day, Ipswich are riding well and we're going to battle them all the way.
Point taken. The gate situation. We've talked about Ipswich before and their tactics. They seem to be always on the ball with their tactics. Mike's quick in to replace riders and so on as soon as Heat 8 comes along. Chose an unusual gate kind of configuration, if you like. Do you think that that's going to affect you guys?
Not really. I think the situation is the gates that we will get later on, they may work for us, but I think you only need to make half a start now and just trap either somebody on the line or around the outside of you and they won't pass you again, but they could have been too clever for us. But then it's all down to winning the toss, isn't it? We didn't have no choice. I'm sure I would have taken turn 4.
Martin, we'll let you get back and any changes to the bike. Are you happy with the way it is?
No, Dean's bike's working really well.
Right, that's it. Out of my interview. Get off. I'm going to get you to talk sense by the end of the night. Naughty boy. Let's go back to the studio.
Johnson, and away they go. Johnson, the guest. 2 guests for Eastbourne here now, and they're in 3rd and 4th places. Johnson goes round the outside. Mark Laram is locked in the back there behind Craig Boyce, is blocking him out. Down the back straight goes Jeremy Doncaster. Doncaster, of course, so impressive first time out with the 2nd place and going well again. And the Eastbourne men have got work to do, but he can.
Yeah, Jeremy's done exactly what he did in his first race. He's made the start, he's riding the quick line. The other riders are struggling a bit, caught up with each other. Craig Boyce is hanging on to the 2nd place. And Mark Laram just there in 3rd place. And he cannot get past Craig Boyce.
Mark Laram will have to do a typical Laram manoeuvre to make ground here. He's trying it now, but Boyce is holding it. Laram's trying to come through on the inside. He's going to put Boyce under pressure, but into the last lap. Jeremy Doncaster in front. Not what we expected to see here. Can Laram go by Boyce? He will try again. Boyce closes the gate of him. Laram will try the outside in 2nd place. He's coming back on the inside, but Ipswich have got a maximum victory here with the man in yellow, Jeremy Doncaster, ahead of Craig Boyce in white. And the world champion, Mark Laram, guesting for Eastbourne back in 3rd place. A second 5-1 of the night for the visitors from Ipswich. Great guns they are going at the moment, but Eastbourne are behind the home team, and Ipswich now lead by 23 points to 19. But on the inside as the reserve replacement for his colleague Jason Bunyan goes in yellow. For Eastbourne, it's Marcus Anderson in gate 2 in the blue helmet colours. Yannick Hampel goes, the 19-year-old pole for Ipswich gate 3. On the outside in red is Brent Werner. The age advantage the way of Eastbourne, the experience and track knowledge the way of Eastbourne. But Yannick Hampel has a lot of talent.
Different, so we've got no tacticals, just the right men in the race.
Up fly the tapes and away on the inside. Going well there is Savalas Clouting. Round the outside, Ipswich domination continues with Yannick Hampel. Back in red is Brent Werner. Werner will have work to do, so too will his colleague Marcus Anderson. Eastbourne will be disappointed in the performance of their 2 riders in this one, because Ipswich seem to have it absolutely right now out front and extending his lead there. The young Pole, Yannick Hampel, having a sensational season here now. And at the back there, a real pearler there because 2 men are down. Savalas Clouting is down in the yellow helmet colours. The man in red down is Brent Werner. We'll have to await the referee's decision. He's excluding Clouting as the prime cause of the stoppage. And this, in fact, will make it much easier for Eastbourne. They will be only too pleased for the restart. They will be only too pleased to have a second go.
We can see what happens here. He's in 2nd place, being chased by the 2 Eastbourne riders. Clouting just loses it there, slides off. A real good bit of riding there from Brent Werner to lay that bike down. Brent's at the back, but we see what happens here with Clouting entering the bottom bend. It's a little bit slippery where the track's being watered, and into the picture we should just see the bike now of Brent Werner. A marvellous job of laying that bike down. You know, he could have hit that bike and catapulted over the fence. Very, very good. There's no break.
See that.
Oh, I just went in the third turn. I saw a little bit wet on the inside. I think bobbered water. So in the first lap or two, I was moved out mid-track going in there, and then I decided to switch to the inside and slid off.
Obvious disappointment because you were banging your hands down on the track there, especially as you replace Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of made a good start of gate one again, and I just wanted to get 5-1 with Hempel, so I was gutted.
It hasn't been brilliant for you of recent meetings. You've been struggling a bit, yet you came out here and won that first heat you went out in.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been struggling all year really, and one or two things and stuff, and I was sort of determined to get in heat one and win it, being off gate one, and then obviously Smiley put me out in that one off gate one again, so just disappointed at the moment.
What's been the change for you though? How come you've improved so much tonight?
I don't know really, I just sort of, like I said, just putting it down to getting at the starts. I mean, the track's very slick tonight, so it's difficult to pass anyway, but just getting at the start is the main job.
Okay, well, bad luck for that one. Good luck in the next time. Thanks.
3 for Ipswich, riding on his own, the 19-year-old Pole, Yannick Campbell. On the outside, Brent Werner, the 27-year-old American, and they need a great start and then a chance of team riding, Peter, and they could get a 5-1. Campbell third in last year's World Under-21 Championship, and certainly, well, he can produce the goods here, and he's there to the apex of the bend, around the outside where it counts, and Campbell will take some catching here, but the Eastbourne men will try. Brent Werner in red, in blue it's Marcus Anderson. They're going to try. Campbell slightly locks up. Now it's time to look back. He will now pick his spot on the track, and the 19-year-old Pole will go as well as he can here, because he's now stretching that lead down the back straight with every turn of his wheel. Campbell is looking brilliant.
Yeah, you know, when you see him off his bike, Tony, he only looks about 15-year-old. He's probably only about 7.5 stone. He's only about 5'1", but can he ride that bike?
Is he old enough to drive it, Peter? Yannick Campbell in white with a lap and a bit to go. Looks certain of taking the 3 race points in this one. The chase of Brent Werner and Marcus Anderson could be very much in vain here. The Eastbourne fans will be delighted, I think, to get a 3-all, because that's better than it might have been when Heat 8 started and before Clouting tumbled out. But Yannick Campbell here in the white helmet colours takes the checkered flag first, ahead of the man in red, Brent Werner, and Marcus Anderson in blue. And that's another 3-all. The 4th such scoreline in...
It seems very slick out there tonight.
Yeah, I think this track is very slick start, and I've been here last time. This start has been a little bit grippy, and this is very big experience to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just amazed how well you've adapted to the track, because obviously I race in the Polish league and the tracks there are much bigger.
Yeah,
and to see you ride the track so smoothly and good is good to see. You're looking very comfortable.
Yeah, in England I must think about drive and track. In Poland everything is big, long corners, and this is a very big experience.
Are you enjoying England though, generally, living here as well?
Yeah, it's very nice. I'm living in England and I like England. I like England's speedway. Everything is okay.
Oh, well, you're riding great. Good to see you. Will they get back to the pits?
Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us. Well done.
Big man in white for Ipswich on the inside. Gate 2 for Eastbourne, reserve replacement Steve Johnston. Gate 3, reserve replacement for Ipswich is Jason Bunyan. But on the outside in red for Eastbourne, that is David Norris. Norris, 4 points from his 2 rides so far, including one of Eastbourne's 3 heat victories.
Here on Gate 1.
Not the favoured gate at the moment, perhaps, but who knows? Nichols will keep it down. Can the Eastbourne men come across? No, Nichols shoves his rear wheel out. Now there's work to be done for Steve Johnson in blue. In red, it's David Norris even further back, and Jason Bunyan at the back. But Scott Nichols, in his current form, with 1 lap complete, will surely now have this race almost exactly as he pleases.
Yeah, Scott is just riding around the middle of the circuit where there is that little bit of grip that moves across from the inside. The track is a little bit slippy where it keeps being watered. Maybe better if they lay off the water spray, I think. But Steve Johnson's hanging on to that 2nd place, and this should be a drawn heat.
Another 3-all it'll be if it stays like this, but with Scott Nichols in this form, Chris Louis, great voice, and Jeremy Doncaster in the sort of form they're in, Ipswich must be a bet now for the league title. It's going to go all the way, I know, but with Scott Nichols, he's going to provide us with thriller plenty at Cardiff at the weekend now, because he's extending his lead. The checkered flag beckons for Scott Nichols for the 2nd time tonight. 3 race points to Scott Nichols in white. 2nd place in blue for Eastbourne goes to Steve Johnson. 3rd in red to David Norris. Disappointment for him. It's another 3-all scoreline for the heat, which now makes it Eastbourne 25, Ipswich 29. There's plenty.
We were talking about how slick it is there, and there's not a lot of room to overtake. You're making the starts, and that's why you're getting ahead.
Yeah, I think sort of any track you got to make the start, but it is because your starts are not as grippy as they are normally, and normally you just have to sort of hang your head over the handlebars and go, but you sort of got to work it a little bit more. But there's not an awful lot of dirt there. It's sort of slicker than it normally is, and like you say, starts are crucial.
Well, you're certainly impressing this man, I know.
I tell you, you're getting a really nice run from like the middle of this corner out. You're riding pretty wide, and it looks like you're picking up probably more drive than anybody from the middle of the corner to halfway up the straight.
Yeah, see, there's only like just a small bit right out there. I think if you're in front, you've got a lead, you can just maintain
about hit it.
I don't think you can use it to pass. I don't think there's enough there, so still keep making the starts.
The important thing to do. Obviously, this is all warming up for the big one. You're looking good though, yeah? You're looking forward to the British Grand Prix?
Yeah, things seem to be going good. I think I've probably got too much of a warm-up. I'm hectic, so I'll probably be burnt out by the time I get there. So, but it's good. It's a good experience for me, and I'll be going there. If I can maintain the form I've got, then I should be able to do okay. But who knows what's going to happen on the day?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll let you get back to the pits, and yeah.
So the veteran in yellow, the Ipswich, goes for the inside. For Eastbourne, the American Brent Werner goes from gate 2 in blue. Gate 3, Great Voice in white on the outside. Martin Dugard in red. The man with whom we have the camera on board is Martin Dugard, and he'll
Forward on the start.
less than 5 more heats to go. The meeting well and truly alive now. Dugard's got to go for the outside. He's left behind there, and the Ipswich riders once again first and second. Dugard will have to work. Jeremy Douglas are on the inside. Great Voice, Jeremy Douglas on the outside. Voice on the inside. Team riding. Dugard is now going to try and go through on the inside. He does. Goes by 1. Boyce will pick up the grip. Boyce will try to go by Dugard, but now Dugard has Doncaster in his sights. This could be the best race of the night. The challenge at the back from Brent Werner, putting Boyce under pressure. And with 2 laps to go, Martin Dugard now has to chip away at Jeremy Doncaster. He's going wide. He's got caught up in the dirt, and Doncaster's using all his experience, Peter.
Yeah, Jeremy's just sat in exactly the same place on that bike. He's like as though he's in an armchair. He's riding the same line, just hanging on to that lead. Martin had to go round the pits turn. We can see Martin there leading that bike over on the turn, but he just hasn't got the speed to catch up Jeremy.
Well, Eastbourne could use a tactical at this stage like this. There'll be a 6-point gap because Doncaster wins it in yellow. For Eastbourne in second place is Martin Dugard in red. Craig Boyce is the 3rd place in white. For the visitors from Ipswich, you take that heat by 4 points to 2. It's now Eastbourne 27, Ipswich 33, and
Martin Dugard in 3rd place, just comes under Craig Boyce here. We can see on that manoeuvre how he's leaning that bike in. He's leaning right into the turn, straightens up again on the straight, moves forward for the corner, and that's a rider's eye view there, and you can see how hard he's working on it.
Well, Ipswich so often proving the bogey team.
The lead now, but they can start making tacticals. Indeed, they have. Martin's in the next heat.
Yeah, that's right. You've got to be careful now because they can start throwing anything at us. I mean, there's, I say they can throw Martin in, who's obviously a very, very good round here, and obviously Mark, who's having a little bit of off night. But I mean, if they throw in a golden double as well, I mean, they can soon make the points back very, very quickly.
Now, someone that's certainly not having an off night tonight is you. Only dropped 1 point.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise round here because it's not really my favourite place, but I think Bob's made it especially for us tonight, so I must pat him on the back later.
I'm sure he'll be very pleased about that. Keeps going out his tractor to try and make some more grip, doesn't he?
Yeah, the only trouble is when you win a race, you've got to be aware that he might try and run you over, you know, pulling out, trying to grade it again, so you've got to be pretty quick as well.
Listen, Jeremy, let's just talk about you for a minute. Out in 88, 89, come back. You've been back about, what, 13, 14 months. Really having a good time of it, aren't you? Because, you know, you're not spring chicken.
No, I'm not. Well, you're as young as you feel, as they say. But, yeah, I was out for a good 2.5, nearly 3 seasons. Part of it was through injury. I had a badly broken arm. But I think this time around it's like a bit of second wind, and I'm really enjoying it more. The pressure's off. You know, I try and do a little bit of work in the week when I can, and that obviously it's a different scenario. You know, it's not my sole source of income, and I think that makes a difference, and it makes the racing more enjoyable. I think it puts a lot of pressure on you if it's your only source of income and you've got to try and earn a year in 6 months, and sometimes it's not always possible.
What do you do for a full-time job?
Well, I'm a maintenance electrician at Waddersham, RAF Waddersham, so that's...
I'll tell you what, you guys do work hard. Jonathan, are you listening to this? This is what you call hard work.
Yeah, I know. It's easy what we're doing, really, compared to these boys. They're thrashing it around that track. And I'll tell you what, it's the first time I've ever seen
the world champion guesting for Eastbourne in red from the inside. For Ipswich, the promising 19-year-old Cole Yalla Campbell. Gate 3 is Martin Dugard for Eastbourne, who's making his 443rd appearance for the club. And tonight top 6,500 points in league racing on the outside in his 3 outings so far. This is heat number 11. Eastbourne pairing of Mark Aram and Martin Dugard. Sort of dream pair you'd like to have here. They're up against talent, unlimited. The Eastbourne pairing. Mark Aram trying to keep it down on the inside. Martin Dugard in blue. Tail off at the back in white is Chris Louis. But now Eastbourne will put the pressure on Hampel. Hampel is out front, the 19-year-old against the Eastbourne experience of Martin Dugard and Mark Aram. Over 60 years between them. Hampel just 19, but Hampel, the ace in the pack for Ipswich tonight, Peter, and he's got a lead that counts.
Unbelievable stuff here from Hampel. He's got the world champion behind him, the British Grand Prix winner Martin Dugard behind him, and he's just holding his own there, not being phased. They're trying all they know, and he's just out in front going for that win.
Well, Yannick Hampel is not even going to look back. He's going to keep on his line. He's going to keep racing and keep riding. Chris Louis, the Great Britain captain, tailed off at the back. A measure of the talent and ability of this man, Yannick Hampel, in this one is the quality of the 3 riders he's beaten. Yannick Hampel, could he be a world champion? Could he be the next Thomas Gollard? Certainly tonight, he's looking every inch a great rider. Heading in blue, Martin Dugard. In red, Mark Aram, a world champion, a British Grand Prix winner behind him. And 3-all the heat score, allowing Eastbourne to bring a tactical substitute, probably Mark Aram. On the inside in red for Eastbourne, in yellow for Ipswich, Savalas Clouting goes in gate 2. Gate 3 in blue is Mark Aram as a tactical substitute. On the outside for Ipswich is Craig Boyce in white. And the bad news for Eastbourne is they're only going to go with 1 rider in heat 14 because Stefan Anderson has pulled out of the meeting on a doctor's note with a viral infection. It's a non-speedway injury. He actually has to have 3 scheduled rides. Away they go. This is heat 12 on the inside. Picked up in red, David Norris. Norris has in blue Mark Aram with him. Trying to come through in white is Craig Boyce. Boyce tries to split them now. David Norris on the inside. Holds the ace in the pack, and if it stays like this, a 5-1 to Eastbourne would make 2 points in it going into the final 3 heats. What a night we have in front of us, and what a ride this by the world champion, stretching the lead. Has he got it right now, Peter?
Yeah, this is more like Mark Aram. He's out there in front really, and he's got Dave Norris with him. This will bring the scores much closer, back within 2 points. Everything to race for. We're seeing fantastic speedway again at Eastbourne tonight.
And in the next heat, Mark Aram is out with Martin Dugard. Anything could happen now in this meeting. Could we have a grandstand finish? In blue, Mark Aram, the world champion, guesting for the absent and injured Dean Barker. Down the back straight, heads his teammate for the night, David Norris in red. Craig Boyce is back in 3rd place in white, and that's the first 5-1 of the night for Eastbourne. They've been looking for it for a long while. It's now Eastbourne 35, Ipswich 37. There are 3 heats to go. The meeting is boiling up with a vengeance here, and a great ride by the world champion Mark Aram, British Grand Prix title holder. Goes from gate 2 in red. Scott Nichols, the man of the moment in British Speedway. The 23-year-old goes from gate 3 in yellow. On the outside, the world champion, and now new British champion for the 3rd time, Mark Aram goes in blue. Great so far, those occupied by Ipswich in this one. If they can keep it down, Martin Dugard is keeping it down. Martin Dugard splits the 2 Ipswich riders, takes a man almost into the fence. Scott Nichols, Martin Dugard in 2nd place. Now Mark Aram at the back will put Nichols under pressure. Nichols comes through to take Dugard. Ding-dong battle out front in white is Chris Louis. Nichols and Dugard, a battle royal there, and Nichols coming out best as they come out of that bend, and now he lifts Dugard, will try to go inside him. The action in 2nd place, frenetic and fantastic. Chris Louis has a chance to look back. This, if it stays like this, will seal it for Ipswich. They're riding brilliantly tonight. Even the master of Arlington, Martin Dugard, back in 3rd place, can make no progress at all.
I certainly underestimated Chris Louis there. What a ride here from him. Did it all on the 1st turn. Scott Nichols had to fight hard, but Chris Louis now, there's dirt out there. He'll have changed gear as well, and he's got everything right now the way he's going.
All is not yet done for Eastbourne, but mighty close to being so. In yellow, Scott Nichols takes it ahead of Chris Louis in white. 3rd place goes to Martin Dugard in red. 5 points to 1 to the visitors, who now open up a 6-point lead with 2 heats to go. It's Eastbourne 36.
But he completely underestimated Chris Louis, as I did. Chris had already gone into the lead round that 1st corner, and from here on now for Martin it was too late, because Scott Nichols had the full chance now to attack him. Again off the start, Mark Aram didn't make it whatsoever from gate 4. He's going to do the cutback quite early, but we can see what's happening here again. On the outside, Scott Nichols being pushed wider and wider by Martin Dugard, and that allowed Chris Louis just to dive up the inside. Real good riding.
Ipswich now assured of at least a draw. Their captain, Chris Louis, in the studio with Greenhill, Jason Crump.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up in terms of what some of the questions were. I know there's 2 weeks to go, but that was decisive, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Heat 13 nearly always is in this situation, so it's always a tough one. But you know, the first corner went quite well, and obviously Scotty's cut back. I could see Martin had moved him right up to the fence. I didn't know if it was going to be red lights by the time I got down the other end, but obviously got away with it. Good corner down there, and we were away.
Yeah, I bet you were pretty happy to be off gate 1 there.
I was, yeah. That's part of my reason for gate 2 and heat 1, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it worked out well for you.
What is it about you guys away? In the last few weeks, you've really come up the table, and it's all been away. You've had some great away wins.
Yeah, we have. You know, I mean, Ipswich as a team over the years doesn't change very much. Tended to stick to the same team, and this year, you know, we were relatively new with Boise coming in and Yarrick and obviously Scotty coming back. So I think we took a few meetings to gel together, but we've got a great team spirit now, and everyone's helping out, and it's working for us. You know?
And you got some great riders. Chris Louis riding well, but so too is
Studio there, great ride, you won too.
Yeah, it's worked good at the first time. Chris had said, you know, unless he has to, he'll stick to the line, and I'd made it sort of level with Martin, and he ran me out like, you know, anyone's going to do, and got a bit tight, but I managed to, because Chris on the inside, I managed to just cut back on the 3rd and 4th and got the run up the inside. We managed to sort of work good from there on in.
Be going out in heat 15, do you think?
I think so, I hope so. I'm not too sure what the scores are at the minute, but it's just hope that if I am in it, I don't want no pressure.
All right, Scott, let you go.
For Eastbourne, Steve Johnson goes on his own against Jeremy Doncaster in white, and Savalas Clouting is taking the place of Jason Bunyan, a reserve replacement. He goes in yellow from the outside. Our starting marshal moves away. Johnson has to take it all on his own for Eastbourne, and is doing so at the moment on the inside. Steve Johnson in front. Clouting is back at the rear, but in coming through now, Jeremy Doncaster is having a tremendous night, the rider with the white helmet colours, and Steve Johnson making no ground at all, as Jeremy Doncaster could be set for what will be his 3rd heat victory of the night.
Yeah, Donkey looks so smooth, Tony. He's just out there riding his own race. He's riding the best line. Steve Johnson's having to go in that dirt now, but really, he's not going to catch Jeremy. Jeremy's got such a lot of experience, just coming up to 40 years old and scoring points by the dozen.
Well, certainly Jeremy Doncaster has had a great night down here. I've seen him down here many times, but never has he been as impressive as this. At 39 years old, he's 14 days away from now, and Jeremy Doncaster is riding like a 2-year-old, or at least a 22-year-old, as he takes the checkered flag here. Jeremy Doncaster makes sure that Ipswich win the meeting. Steve Johnson for Eastbourne in 2nd place in blue. Savalas Clouting, the reserve replacement in yellow, takes 3rd place. That means that it's 4 points to 2 in favour of tonight, have provided victory for them. The finale here, heat number 15 on the inside in red is David Norris for Eastbourne. Gate 2 in white, Yarrick Hampel for Ipswich. Gate 3 is Martin Dugard, the Eastbourne captain. We're waiting for him to come round. He's just coming up to tapes there, you see now in Gate 3. And on the outside, Scott Nichols in yellows had a fantastic night. Our starting marshal, Alan Rolfe, marches away. The referee, David Peat, has had a great night. Very few problems for him, and Ipswich have had even less problems as they stretch the lead now in heat 15. Down that back straight in yellow, Scott Nichols, if he keeps up this form, he could be a real surprise packet in the Grand Prix. Bit of dicing in 2nd place between Martin Dugard and Yarrick Hampel. Back at the air, back at Martin Dugard in blue now moves through into 3rd place in front of the man at the back, Hampel. And well, out front it's Scott Nichols. Oh, locking up for Eastbourne. Martin Dugard, unusual for him now, relegated to last place. David Norris in 2nd place. But once again, the victory in the way of Ipswich, and a grandstand finish for Scott Nichols. Down on the track at the back goes David Norris. They're into the final lap, which means our referee can award it to the rider in front in yellow. But to Martin Dugard, David Norris has got up at the back. And now in yellow with the checkered flag beckoning, the heat victory once again to Scott Nichols. In 2nd place in blue, Martin Dugard. 3rd in white is Yarrick Hampel. Ipswich certainly victorious, well and truly here, winning it by 4 points to 2. That heat, it's now Eastbourne 40, Ipswich certainly 50, a 10-point margin, exactly the same as last time they were here. And so, from Eastbourne's point of view, disaster on the night, a 3rd successive home meeting without being victory.